Anxiety being such a common thing, I think that there is a big misconception when it comes to anxiety. And I've dealt with anxiety for many years in my 30, how old am I? 32 years. And it wasn't until recently when I started getting major panic attacks. And going through this like healing journey of turning inwards and finding like the root and deep rooted beliefs and this belief system or these stories that I tell myself, it wasn't until then I met certain people along this journey that had shared similar experiences or had helped me to gain the clarity that I needed to realize that anxiety is just a symptom. It's not who I am. It's a symptom. It's my body's amount of pressure that we put on ourselves, whether it's the way we have these belief systems, these outdated belief systems that no longer serve us, and we're meant to evolve, but we want to stay stagnant. We want to stay safe because anxiety scares us. And when I had realized the darkness that I was surrounded by, I learned what my red flags were, because my anxiety is real. Those are real moments. I don't want to take away the reality of when you have a panic attack. Those are real. And knowing that I still had control seemed so foreign to me at the time. My belief was there's no way that I can control this. Like, my body is doing something totally opposite while my mind is racing and going 50,000 miles per hour with different thoughts, and I feel like I'm spiraling and I can't breathe and I feel like I'm suffocating and I feel claustrophobic and just everything is crashing down. Well, that was my safety mechanism to keep me safe. And when we go through traumatic experiences, traumatic as in it's not necessarily, and I say this a lot, it's not when you watch somebody, get injured or die. Like those, yes, those are very traumatic experiences. But I think that that's all we think about when we have trauma. But it's not. A traumatic experience is something that you did not process fully and you're still trying to process, regardless if it happened when you were a little child, regardless if it happened, came to not manage my anxiety, but overcome it every time anxiety entered my life, because life gets really overwhelming, especially with 10 unique children that are going through their own life experiences, and then life experiences in general, and then your growth and all those things. You hear people when they're like, oh my gosh, a long time ago this used to happen to me, and they're still processing that, and anxiety creeps up with like worry and fear. And I've been in denial when I started this whole anxiety thing. Like, I thought anxiety was me. I am anxiety, but I am not. I'm so much more than anxiety. Anxiety is just my home security in myself saying, hey, like, pay attention, like something's going on. But my belief system was so outdated that it was so tied into negative beliefs, like, this is who I am. I have anxiety and I can't control this. But the thing is, when I learned that I can control it, I think that's when I started to gain the momentum and power to break free from the limiting belief of I am anxiety. And I don't use that as a crutch. I made a promise to myself that I'm not going to use it like, oh, I have anxiety, so I can't do that. Like, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to limit myself. So what I had to learn was it's just another journey in itself for our relationship, and now that when I do have panic attacks, he's there to comfort me and he's there to support me. And that's something that a person with anxiety needs. I had to learn what my red flags were when it came to anxiety, what triggered me. And when I would have panic attacks, my husband had to learn this too, because like he didn't know anything about this. So we had to like go on this, that we want to be seen, we want to be heard, we don't want to think that we're crazy or anything like that, did and had this premonition or whatever you want to call it, this vision or this light that like sparked inside of me, to learn how to breathe, I went for my birthday last year. One of the greatest things that you can give yourself that is totally free, that we were given like as a gift that I see, and this is where I'm going to shed light in this darkness, is that when I felt pulled and postpartum, how you breathe is how your baby picks up the rhythm of your breath, of breathing. And we don't really consider that. We don't even Maui Mobile Recovery came, and I did an ice bath and I did a sauna, but he taught us how to breathe. And that was just so significant to me, because learning through it's what God gave us, and we don't use the tools that God gave us. We take for granted the tools that he gave us for our eyesight, for our ears, for our voice, for the way. My mind just like thinks of these things all the time, but it's like such a gift to be connected to our breath, to learn how to breathe. And when I get triggered, when I feel overwhelmed, I breathe, and it's free. We breathe and how we breathe, so when you're going through anxiety, check your breathing. Where are you breathing from? How are you breathing? And if you don't even know and you don't know where to start, go learn how to breathe. That is probably one of the biggest things that had shed light through my anxiety, was knowing how to breathe, knowing how to come back down from that fight or flight or freeze experience, and telling my body, even if this situation scares me, even if I feel unsafe, I'm still safe because I'm breathing. And it's a practice that I have to practice. I have to force myself to practice to get out of the outdated limiting beliefs or this belief system that I had before. So I just wanted to shed some light on anxiety. I know it's a lot of things. It's all the things right now in this world and what we deal with, and learning how to manage our stress and learning how to breathe will help you shed light on your anxiety.